Come, let us explore the unexpected collapse of traditional meditation. When I say traditional, I don't mean what was taught by Lao Tzu or the Buddha or even the Christ. What I'm referring to is Yang's religious patriarchy. When I say patriarchy, I'm speaking figuratively because you can being a member of the patriarchy is not a question of one's plumbing. It's not a question of one's sexual identity. It's a question of one's worldview. When one chooses or is conditioned to be, well, let me just jump over here and find you a really good visual aid. When one has been conditioned to be rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel, that's exactly what I mean by Yang's religious patriarchy. And if you happen upon a good translation of the Tao Te Ching, you'll see this yourself. We see that the opposite of Yang's religious patriarchy is Yin's spiritual matriarchy. Once again, that's not a question of biology. It's a question of worldview. It's a question about being flexible, loving, rational, laid back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind. Now, I got to warn you, people who crave power for power's sake, people who crave elitism and prestige, will always align themselves with patriarchy. They might infiltrate organizations that claim to be spiritual and matriarchal, but they will change them from the inside like an infection, like a virus. Remember, Lao Tzu was exiled. The Buddha was assassinated. Jesus Christ was tortured to death by the state. So there is a long history of this going on. Now, I was raised, this is what I'm looking for. I was born in the mid 60s, literally halfway through the 60s I was born, 1965. And so when I was a little boy, my mother taught cooking classes for the local elementary or junior high school. So I had these girls dressed like hippies coming into my kitchen, learning how to cook spaghetti. And of course, my heart was just thumping. I had a little kindergarten crush on these mysterious older hippie women who, of course, were in elementary school or at best junior high. But the archetype of the hippie woman was seared upon my furry little mind. Um, and so that has always pulled me eventually towards matriarchy, towards spiritual matriarchy. And before it pulled me overtly, it was pulling me subtly because even when I was a member of Yang's religious patriarchy, I was always trying to, I wasn't, instead of being loud and proud about it, I was apologetic about it. So, what are some of the things that are crumbling? Well, blatant misogyny. I don't know how to spell misogyny. I saw right chauvinism. Oh my goodness, I can't spell that either. Um, Guru worship. Magical thinking. elitism. These are the things that are making people, that are repelling people from traditional religious institutions, whether they be Taoist organizations or so-called Buddhist organizations or so-called Zen centers or so-called yoga centers or so-called Hindu organizations. These things drive people away. Now, I think that's great. I think people should be able to find teachers who are members of Yin's spiritual matriarchy. Remember, matriarchy is not about biology, it's about worldview. So here's a simple example. Religious patriarchy will say it's going to take you aeons to become a Buddha. Yin spiritual matriarchy will say, you could do it in a week. Yang's religious patriarchy will say, oh man, it's going to cost you a lot of money to join this religious organization. And Yin spiritual matriarchy says, no problem, we'll teach you for free. And by the way, if you need anything, if you need help with food, shelter, clothing, job training, or job placement, we will do what we can. We will reach out to the community and network on your behalf. What I want is less competition and more cooperation. So, from my worldview, this change can't happen quick enough. But that's just my opinion. I'd love to know what yours is. Tell me in the chat window. In the interim, this concludes the opening lesson for tonight's practice. Let's see. There we go. What I'd like to do now is tap button 5. It is Thursday. It is Ahsoka Tano Thursday evening. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi after 30 seconds of housekeeping. Wrong button. Sorry about that, kids. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I spent about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that I can become your nerdy, neurodivergent guide to nirvana. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. Right now, I think it could be great fun if together we alternated between chanting selections of the vast expanse of the diamond-like mind and sitting quietly in meditation. This text was written many centuries ago by Prahe Vajra, translated from the Tibetan into Italian by Chokyal Namkai Norbu, translated from the Italian into English by Adriano Clemente, adapted and amplified by yours truly. Now, quick heads up, guys. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist philosophy, or Buddhist meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. I live to answer your questions as long as they're about this category and not about something like, oh, I don't know, what I had for breakfast yesterday. Please chant with me. I pay homage to the Bhagavan, archetype of enlightenment, glorious diamond, strong mind, Vajrasattva. Together. The vast expanse of our diamond, the vast expanse of our Vajrasattva diamond-like mind is like the ever-good and immense ultimate dimension of phenomena. Being pure, the complete path that liberates all. Does not arise or sink, does not think of anything. Being love and thus the really accomplished. It does not strive to practice great compassion. Being great, the profound qualities of greatness need not be praised. Phenomena do not undermine the authentic condition. Let's try this again. Phenomena do not undermine the authentic condition of all Buddha nature, which is liberation because it self-liberates effortlessly without action. Since self-originating wisdom is beyond contrived searching, in liberating itself, it also shows the path of liberation. The great elements are the Bhagavan archetype of enlightenment that exists by nature in all beings. However wrongly it may be conceived, liberation originates from itself and not elsewhere. The wisdom of greatness is difficult to actively strive to find. It is realized through method and prajna. Though it could be said to depend on something else, real bliss originates from oneself. The great miracle is not difficult. Excuse me. Whoops, I don't know what happened there. Let's try that again. There we go. All qualities and capabilities immediately arise from within oneself, through subtle understanding of the authentic condition. Meditation is relaxing without seeking in the dharmata that does not appear visibly. If one actively searches either for the dharmata or for something in it, the natural condition will never manifest. The supremely secret reality cannot be heard through the sense of hearing. Likewise, it cannot be expressed by the tongue, not even in the slightest. The suffering of beings is the bodhicitta that fully manifests while pervading all. Without ever being moved, it abides equally just as it reaches of space. That which is the equality of all distinctions is conceived by figuratively saying it is karma. Were it really literally under the power of karma, self-originated wisdom would not exist. The cause is the diamond-like or the Vajrabuddha nature as all the secondary conditions. Never having been born, it cannot be destroyed. Since it is the Buddha essence that exists from the beginning, the ultimate dimension is not moved by the effort of thoughts. Welcome to the first of 5 mindful crease counting meditations. Let us rest the great knuckle at the base of our right little finger, palm the tip of our left little finger, palms up in our lap. Now let us practice the essence of mindfulness and meditation. Each time we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, we are wired to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, fleetingly notice mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. Each time we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, we are similarly wired to physically relax and mentally release all that we noticed during our previous inhalation. Together, let's practice. Please join me in chanting. Meditative stability of supreme quality. Being real meditative stability is beyond the tyranny of thought. Without applying thought of purifying. In accordance with its nature, from thought itself, wisdom of letting go springs forth. Let's see. Let's go like this. Oopsie, that's exciting. Let's go like this. And then one more, and we're going to half this, or third this to 12. Let's see if that sits on the page correctly. All right, close enough for government work. Without applying thought of purifying, in accordance with nature, from thought itself, wisdom of letting go springs forth. Honing the expression gateway to the subtle, they seek the path by isolating the mind. Maintaining isolation in a secluded place. If we examine it well, this is conceptual meditation. They coin the terms cause and effect. But both virtues and negativities dissolve completely. They say we will get out of this world and enter supreme complacency with dualities, accepting and rejecting. We see this frequently in the low zhang literature. Attachment and non-attachment are the path of words. And something in the middle is also as non-graspable as an echo. Happiness and suffering have the same cause. Said the diamond like my dark type blush herself a load of beans. Oh darn, coordination done failed me. Let's hit insert, and let's hit symbol, and put accent there. Wow, I'm Butterfingers McGee right now. Okay. Happiness and suffering have the same cause of mind, said the dumb and like my dark type Pasha self a lord of beings. Attachment, anger, and ignorance arise from the path of the total Buddhi, which is enlightenment. So here's what this means, super important. As we sit in meditation, as we sit in mindfulness, it's not our job to repress our mind. It's not our job to lie to ourselves about what we are perceiving or emoting or intending or thinking or recalling or imagining. We're supposed to be completely vulnerable, passive, visceral, random, and fleeting. like a member of the audience watching a play, even if that play is sometimes a penny dreadful. Let's continue. The five sense objects of enjoyment too are said to be the ornament of the Dharmadhata dimension, a metaphor of the mastery of awareness and release. Space is beyond the arising of thoughts, and thought itself is like space, without attachment. From space dedication, one's great aim manifests as space. So sometimes we'll have hateful thoughts. Other times we will have loving thoughts. Sometimes we will have great aversion towards the obstacles in our lives. And then we relax. And that is as if we were performing a wrathful mantra, or a mantra of green Tara. Other times we might have desire for good things for ourselves, or desire for good things for others. We observe that desire as we breathe in. We relax into the desire as we breathe out, and that's effortless manifesting. Let's continue. Thought-free equality is the Dharmakaya mastery of awareness and letting go. Like the moon's reflection in water, it cannot be grasped. Through the energy manifestation of Samanta Mandra, the Alikali of vowels and consonants are profoundly displayed. Through the and the beautiful tongue, the Panliya and the reminated branches. In the sphere of experience of the whole world, the profound voice of the Buddha arises. Wonderful the sphere of experience of the Buddhas is not a place to be found by active searching. And like the phenomena of the six senses, it is also not an object we should grasp after. Those who search for it are like the blind reaching for the sky. The gradual path of purity that seemingly leads higher and higher does not correspond to the nature behind action. Were there really a path to tread just like the bounds of the sky, one would never arrive. Oh, you know what? Oh, never mind. The authentic condition being thus by being shown as it is attained. As it is the very essence, its manifestation arises from it. Oh, how marvelous! And at last we come to the 2nd to 5 mindful crease counting meditations. Whoopsie. Okay. Let us rest the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger, upon the tip of our left ring finger, palms up in our lap. Together, let us practice the essence of mindfulness and meditation. Each time I'll tell you what, the moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist philosophy, or Buddhist meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. Please chant with me. Time past and time present, all the authentic condition that is complete in its own place. Let us not concentrate on the present moment thinking that's mindfulness. Concentration is a chore of the prefrontal cortex that backfires and triggers our amygdala. Instead, let us be passive, going wherever our mind leads us, sometimes recalling, sometimes imagining, sometimes perceiving. Likewise, his path is the same. This is the very nature. The universal path that is the same as that is like the moon and the basis of its reflection. As it is the absolute equality of all, it is not realized with a limited view. Present bliss and later bliss. Or what is directly experienced and what issues from it. Since they imply the defect of an aspect. One should not rely on them. There is a myth that if a Dzogchen teaching is given and the student doesn't understand it, it's the student's fault. Bullshit. If I say something or read something and you don't understand it, ask me during class, during live stream, and I will be elated to explain it to you. Communication is the responsibility of the speaker. The three times are one without distinction. Without past or future, it exists from the beginning. All are the same, for all are pervaded by the Dharmakaya, that is the mastery of awareness and release, thus abiding in nature's total greatness. Finding oneself in the three realms of existence, all is just a name and a magical illusion. Even the great status of a Chakravartin universal king, being like a magical illusion, is unable to purify. For those whose attitude depends on time, enlightenment does not manifest in time. That is a reference to pseudo-intellectual active analysis. If one practices with an aspiration without being free, the saying on the characteristic of emptiness applies. All are one totally beyond an aspect. The yogi dwells on the pathways as invisible as those of birds in the sky. In the essence that never occurred and never originated, where are all phenomena supposed to exist? Outer and inner are both, the outer is the inner. The profound is not an object of understanding, not even a part of it. Existence is only a name, the power of mistaken assumption. Thus one remains separate from the equality of meditation. The outer and inner samaya vows abide in the sensual yet empty nature of the aggregates and sense bases. Since in these three times no one is ever separate from it, there is no need to ever use the word samaya. A quick explanation, if you please. Religious patriarchy is really excited to terrorize people with the bestowal of vows and the punishment of breaking vows. But that's the path of contrivance. It does not lead to peace or love. The very act of noticing as we breathe in and relaxing as we breathe out is the fulfillment of all Buddhist vows. Immovable it is the symbol of the body. Unshakable it is the symbol of its wisdom. Unshakable is the symbol of its wisdom. Not taking hold of anything, it has no self. Not rejecting anything, it has the balance that transcends worlds. There we go. Notwithstanding what, whose, and where, all that one uses and enjoys arises from oneself. The practice of mindfulness and meditation, the practice of noticing and releasing, is the ultimate teacher. All I'm doing is helping you to use the mechanisms that are already latent within your central nervous system. The purpose of the outer teacher is only to introduce you to the inner teacher of your own autonomic nervous system. Hear of males and females, the king of equality has never spoken. So one of the deliciously radical teachings of Buddhism, let me rephrase that, of Yin's spiritual matriarchy perspective of Buddhism, is to teach feminism. That women are men's equals, not their possessions. Together, let us rest the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger upon the tip of our left middle finger, palms up in our lap. Together, let us practice the essence of mindfulness and meditation. Remember, the moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist philosophy, or Buddhist meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. I will be delighted to answer it for you. Please chant with me. Here there is no mention of something to accomplish by means of resolute, forceful conduct. Yet it is believed, aha, that's where the boo-boo is. Behold, the boo-boo. Okay. Oh, never mind. The boo-boo was in my head. Yet it is believed that embracing the upon the bliss of magic, by embracing the upon the bliss of magical illusion arises. That's what we call a typo, my friends. Oh, coordination, don't fail me now. Thank you for your patience. Yet it is believed that by embracing the bliss of magical illusion arises. Since nature cannot be defined in one single way, it appears according to how one looks at it. That reminds us of Obi-Wan Kenobi's advice to Luke Skywalker, does it not? Even the bliss from the effort and wish for its manifestation is a great hindrance and defect. In all the secondary methods of foreboding enlightenment, one meditates on the attributes of a tantric archetype, as being as non-graspable as the moon's reflection on water. That is really unfortunate. What's going on here? Okay. But even if something untainted and unattached results, such meditation is like the sphere of experience of an ordinary person. Although by identifying with the body of a great wrathful archetype, with its body, wrathful grimaces, and other attributes. Yet even with the syllable concretely actualized, the authentic condition of the quiescent state is not seen. Just as the top of a, oopsie, what's going on here? Just as the top of a palm tree is cropped, and just as a seed is burnt by fire, likewise the tyranny of powerful emotions may be prevented, as some have taught. All the hundreds and thousands of methods, according to what one practices, bear their specific fruit. But since enlightenment is beyond conceptual characteristics, it does not manifest from these techniques. So in other words, actively trying to squelch emotions is not the path, the highest path of the Buddha. It's not the path of the Buddha's 7 enlightenment factors. It's not the path of the Buddha's, it's not the Buddha's eightfold path. It is Stekdrak, as we say in Yiddish, a piece of poop. Together. Good fortune has the yogi who abides in this indestructible state, for by not discriminating between himself and others, the magical illusion of enlightened self-perfection manifests. Excuse me. As nothing is excluded, it is perfectly complete. Unchangingly, it remains pure. Boundless like space, it is not a phenomenon that depends on something else. The spontaneously existing total bliss arises from one's recognition through the very power of the incomparable wisdom accessed by relaxing into exhalation. The mastery of reality does not originate from anything else. Some teachers are helpful, many are not. A teacher does not decide if we are enlightened. It's simply the mastery of mindfulness and meditation. No human infant is born knowing how to use a commode or how to brush their teeth or knowing how to tie their shoes or knowing how to ride a bicycle. And yet most children get so good at those things before they enter first grade. They get so good at those things that they're able to practice them spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively. We too can do that. We can do that with the awareness and release that are already latent within our inhalations and exhalations, respectively. Let's continue. It is both easy and difficult. It only seems difficult because it is easier than we've been led to believe. It does not manifest directly, for it is all-pervading. Not even the archetype Vajrasattva can point it out with a proclamation saying this is it. So here's the funny thing about centered spontaneity. The moment we ask, am I being centered and spontaneous? We're not. It is the natural byproduct of mindfulness and meditation. So practice at least 5 minutes once every 12 hours. What could go wrong? This amazing manifestation of marvelous passive awareness energy is beyond cosmic action and equal to vast space. From the ignorance that does not conceptualize anything, this energy of passive awareness immediately arises within oneself. We come to the fourth and fifth mindful crease counting meditations. Let's rest the tip of each of our 4 left fingers upon the great knuckles of our right hand. Let's invert this Mishigas and hold it palms up, or set it palms up in our lap. Together, let us play with the essence of mindfulness and meditation, of awareness and release. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist philosophy, or Buddhist meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. The more precise your question, the more helpful my answer. To quote Jerry Maguire, help me to help you. we come to the final fifth of this evening's chanting. Please join me. This is the path equally available to all, that naturally abides in all beings. But since ordinary people are defiled by delusions, we are like doctors shopping for medicine we already possess. In this domain of relaxing exhalations, understanding is total bliss. Un momento. This is what we call it, typographical error, or an editing opportunity. In this domain of relaxing exhalations, understanding is total bliss. That itself is like a Buddha's real or imagined, utterly pure land of Vati. Oh, look at this. Okay. When illuminating light, there we go. When illuminating light like awareness coalesces from all sides as we inhale. The four directions, the intermediate ones, and those above and below seem to be produced. From the subtle spectrum of relaxing inhalations, rainbow-like non-graspability. The five Buddha families, features of elements, perceptions, aggregates, and mental poisons appear to manifest. And likewise the moving features and the moving environment seem to manifest. Passivity is non-conceptual, whole being superior to the five elements, minutiae of active analysis. That which is noticed That which is noticed does not abide in the designations of past, future, or present. Understanding that as we relax into our exhalation, that which we noticed during our previous inhalation could feel as non-graspable as if it was neither arising nor ceasing. This itself is the integration of the three times of past, present, and future into the state of total emptiness, like non-graspability. Being equal, there is no offering to arrange gradually. You know what? I think it works better if I reverse the sequence. Being equal, there is no offering to gradually arrange. All things sharing one empty nature, they all beyond dedicating something towards a specific intention. Although lovely objects seem to exist and could therefore seem to be offered, since they share an empty nature, there is really nothing permanent to offer. Being spontaneously present to all our perceptions, emotions, and tensions, Cognitions, recollections, and imaginings, they all beyond dedicating. Comically pure from the beginning, all actions are like bliss-inducing nectar. Ah. There is therefore no need to be particularly focused to... Yes, folks, another editing opportunity brought to you by our sponsor, Idiocy. Yes. What's that? Have you grown weary of doing everything perfect all the time? Then perhaps you should try Idiocy. Together. There is therefore no need to be particularly focused on either mental phenomena and the five sense subjects, or brain in the five sense organs with any special intention. The intention of the mind to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly is the donor offering all that is noticed. Enlightenment, the accomplishment arises from the perfecting practice of inhalations, noticing, and exhalations, release. Practicing, noticing, and release even for an instant is union. Delighting in this mindfulness and meditation is the fulfillment of all Samaya Tantric vows. Mentally dancing between noticing and releasing all that may befall us is the ultimate offering of the union of non-duality. This giving without clinging is the ultimate dharma cake offering. Having transcended dualistic action, all ritual duties are fulfilled. Since non-conceptual wisdom eliminates subtracting phenomena and entities, the silence of balanced meditation is the ultimate mantra. Making offerings to the Guru generosity and all the other meritorious deeds. Could become a great ensnarement if practiced without scented spontaneity's power of detachment and imperturbability. Therefore that which is expressed in this teaching could be obscured by trying to make it happen. Being thus, if it is actively analyzed, it could never be realized. We can now come to the fifth of 5 mindful crease counting meditations. Please rest let's together as a team, let us rest the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger upon the tip of our left index finger, palms up in our lap. Let us practice the essence of mindfulness and meditation. Remember, the moment you have a specific question about Buddhist philosophy, chanting, or meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. This is this evening's final practice. Let's make the most of it. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 12 2/3 hours, I would very much like to return to lead tomorrow's morning meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.